I'm going to start this video off by saying that I'm trying cinematic mode on my camera, so we'll see how well this works. But welcome back to my channel for another video. It's been a little while since I posted a video. I did try and do one before. I had this idea where I'd read like my old book ideas and sort of laugh at them, or maybe find some treasures, but it didn't really, I don't know, it was just me reading and it wasn't as interesting as I thought it would be. But I don't know, if you are interested in seeing me doing that and looking at my old attempts at writing, then let me know. It could be interesting if I structure it a bit better. For this video, I am just going to talk a bit about myself. I realise I've talked a lot about my ideas and my books ideas, but I haven't really talked about who I am. And the whole point of this channel is for you to get to know me as I write these books. So, as you know by my channel name, my name is Jake. I'm currently 24 years old. My birthday is in May, so I'm going to be reaching my mid-20s, which is a bit terrifying. I feel like I'm still like 17. I mentioned in my first video that I'm a little bit socially anxious. I find it a little bit tricky to talk to people, and that's a big challenge that I have to face every day. It's frustrating. Anyone else who struggles socially, I'm sure, can relate. I realised I went from name to age to deep psychological issues. I never mentioned I'm from England, despite this hoodie that says Toronto. So yeah, back to the socially anxious bit. I think I've always been very shy growing up. I was always the one who let my mum talk for me if I ever needed someone to answer a question that I wasn't sure about. It kind of runs in my family. I feel like everyone in my family is a little bit quiet. But I noticed as I was getting to about 16, 17 that I was falling behind a bit when everyone else at my school who were quiet to begin with had come out of their shell now, and they were making new friends and they were sort of growing as people, and I realised I wasn't really following in that path, and it did concern me. So I began thinking maybe it was something that was wrong with me. I realised I do overthink a lot. I catastrophize a lot. I come up with the worst case scenarios. I have this fear of sounding stupid, and I think a lot of that all comes together, and I just sort of assume being quiet is the best path for me. Because I know a lot of people who struggle with social situations kind of go in the opposite direction, and they go really loud and they have really big personalities because they want people to like them, so they try really hard. Whereas I kind of take the lazy method and sink into the background and become a bit of a background character, which obviously it can be frustrating, but also I think it is just part of who I am. I'm just a bit of a loner. Like, I live on my own and I really like it. I'm quite happy working with my headphones on and shutting the world out. I like reading. I like going on walks by myself. Obviously, I do like social situations. I do like going out with my friends, and it's always a bit of a challenge, but I always enjoy doing it, and I think it's important to find the balance. I think back in the day, I definitely wasn't trying to socialise, and it is important too. So I think a lot of that ties into my writing. I feel like I much prefer writing in first person, sort of like the internal monologue, the voice in your head, not to sound like a crazy person. That's kind of how I think, and that's how my thoughts come on the page. I'm a very visual thinker, so I think that helps me write about surroundings and the very little details that people might not pick up on. I feel like my mind, like when I think of things, it's like a movie. I'm not sure if everyone is like that, maybe they are, but I think it's quite cool to think like that. What else about me? There's really not that much. So obviously I like reading, I like writing, I like drawing, I do a lot of cartoons. Again, it's kind of a form of escapism, I think. I like video games. A lot of my time is spent playing Minecraft, which is a bit of a guilty pleasure of mine. I discovered it when I was 13 and it has taken over my life since, which I'm not mad about. I think there's a lot worse things that I could have found an interest in, and I like it. It's another, again, a form of creativity and escapism, and it's an easy way to switch my mind off and just live in this peaceful world. Another interest of mine is I'm a bit of a Titanic fanatic. As you can see, And I was always thinking I might do a video where I go through all my Titanic stuff. It was about 2012 when I first got interested in it. It was during the 100th anniversary of it sinking, and something about it just hooked me, and I began collecting things around it, watching documentaries, watching movies, the TV shows, reading books, and I've got these figures and collectibles, and so yeah, I think I might do a video where I go through that because I find it really interesting and it's something I enjoy talking about. They're my main hobbies. Oh, I do theatre, completely forgot about that. So I'm a bit of a theatre nerd, I'm part of a theatre group. I've been doing that for about 10 years. I feel like all of my interests started when I was like 12 or 13 and it hasn't changed since. But yeah, so I'm part of a theatre group where we do shows about twice a year. I joined that originally to push my confidence because I realised I was quiet growing up. And it has really helped. The people there are really great and I enjoy acting, I enjoy dancing and singing. I'm not amazing at it or anything, but it's something to do. It's better than sitting at home all day, and it's like a weekly reason to socialise instead of doing nothing. So I think that's quite healthy. I think everyone should have something like that, especially when you're an adult and it's much harder to make friends as an adult. So when you go to these weekly social groups, then it's healthy, I think. So that's sort of me and my interests, and then some of the less fun facts about me. So something, I think I'm not sure if I mentioned it in my first video or not, but the last few years have been quite a struggle for me. Obviously COVID hit and that hit everyone quite hard, but during that time, my mum was also diagnosed with cancer at the end of 2019, so that was like just a few months before COVID happened. And she fought for a really long time, but unfortunately we lost her just over a year ago, and that was a big challenge, obviously. Still something obviously I think about every single day. I might do another video where I go more in depth about that and grief and how it ties into everything, because I was very close to my mum. She was like my best friend, and the hole that she left I don't think will ever close. I don't think I'd ever get over it, but I'm learning to cope with it, and that's what's most important. And I'm taking those feelings from that and putting it into my writing, which I think is important. It's important to take something so challenging and make art of it, somehow find positives in anything, because there are, even if you have to dig really deeply. And I think that's what she would have wanted. She would have wanted me to express those in a healthy way like that, instead of the dark paths that many people can take when something so devastating happens. So yeah, I wanted to mention that because it's such a big part of my life at the moment, and it's one of the reasons why I moved into this apartment, is to kind of start fresh. It's a big positive change. I had this to look forward to, and I know that she would have really wanted me to do it. She knew that I was looking anyway, and we discussed it, and so I think she'd be really happy that I've moved, and I think she'd be very happy with the decorations that I've done. I think that kind of, it's a bit of a shame that I ended on a bit of a negative. What else? I feel like I need to bring a positive round. I'm left-handed. A lot of people, that was very random, but a lot of people say that left-handed people are very creative. So I am left-handed. I have 2 different coloured eyes. This is random. I'm like trying to find anything. But yeah, let's end it there. 2 different coloured eyes, even though you really can't tell. One is slightly more green than the other, but it's not a big deal. So yeah, that's a bit about me. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you feel like you know a little bit more about me now, so that you can maybe feel a bit more of a connection, and I'm not just someone on your screen who you're watching for some reason. But yeah, so that's it. Hope you enjoyed, and I will hopefully see you in the next one, whatever I decide to do, because I don't have a plan. So yeah, thank you. Bye.